This one's gonna be long. It's a lot of story to talk about, and I'll probably edit in some things as well. So this time I actually might need to edit my audio a bit. Hopefully things don't sound too weird. First part of the video I'll be talk simply how things happened. Then past that I'll be talking in more personal perspective. But well, since these are all from my side of the story, they might all be slightly biased for me. Also, since this is gonna be more of a story time than a rant, my script is probably gonna be more scripty. Hopefully I don't sound like I'm just reading off of a book or something. The plays in the background today are gonna be the plays related to the story. First one is gonna be the play that got me banned. And then the plays I had set on this video, a live play which I streamed on Twitch to attempt to prove I did not cheat, and some random plays to fill the video's time if needed. Anyway, so, story time. May of 2018, I set my first 400 PP on First Storm as a 5-digit. Back then, there were only a few players who had gotten 400 as 5-digit. Some like D rankers back then were known to have said even 600 offline, but online profiles there were barely any. I set the first Storm play with mouse since I was playing both mouse and tablet back then, and I decided that 400 PP was where I would stop playing mouse and focus on one playstyle, that being tablet. Because I had been playing both mouse and tablet for more than a year already, I was already used to playing tablet, so 4 months later, September of 2018, I set my first 500 PP play on Ringo Uri. The play is worth way less than 500 now, but when it was set, it was 508 PP. From what I know, this play was the first 500 PP play set by a 5-digit online on Bancho. Total PP required to hit 4-digit back then wasn't even 6,000 PP, so me being underranked aside, it was an achievement, and my friends even made a Reddit post of this score. And well, the Reddit post didn't gain too much traction, and things were pretty quiet, but 5 months later, late February of 2019, my account got restricted. During those 5 months, there were posts of me cheating in our Osu report subreddit. I remember there being 4, but all I could find were now 3, with 2 of them being deleted posts. The one that survived was the first post and the one claiming I multi-accounted, relax hacked, and replay edited, with the rest being deleted before I was restricted. At first, my friends and I thought my restriction was placed on me because of mass report, so I sent an email asking why I had been restricted. The response I got from staff said I had been restricted for cheating behavior. When I showed this to my friends, they said the response is most likely automated, so I should wait for about 24 hours. Next day comes, I still wasn't unrestricted, so I sent another email asking the same question, and received basically the same response, which confirmed my restriction wasn't from mass report. I immediately decided to make a live play on which I played high skill cap maps with star rating ranging between 7 to 8 and managed to show I had skill level that was capable of setting low miscount plays within a couple tries. Plus, these were times when 5-digit players that could play maps of this difficulty were not very common. I posted the live play to Osu Reddit trying to gather traction, and since I was told I could only appeal to staff 3 months later, I sent an email to Peppy to see if I could get any help. I didn't receive any response to said mail, but I sent it knowing Peppy doesn't do any moderation work, so I wasn't really very surprised. Anyway, 3 months later, May of 2019, I sent an appeal email to staff saying that I didn't cheat with the live play included. I waited for a few weeks for a response, but almost after a month with no response, I decided to send the exact same mail which received a response. Response saying I was found to be continually multi-accounting. Bit of a sidetrack to the story, but still kinda related to it. Around this time, there was an interview with Peppy at Cavo's Osu event 2019, where, TLDR, Peppy was asked about how falsely restricted players should deal with appealing, to which he answered the term between each appeal has been decreased to 3 months, and falsely restricted players should be able to send an email to staff to deal with said problems. After watching that clip, I decided to send an email to both Peppy and staff, neither of which were responded to. But, well, it hadn't been over 3 months since the response from my last appeal when I sent that email, so I guess it's something that didn't really matter. What did matter, however, were my next appeal emails and the replies I received. Late September of 2019, so 3 months after staff told me I was multi-accounting, I sent my new appeal, except this time I was trying to prove my innocence about multi-accounting rather than about cheating. So for this multi-accounting issue, over the course of an entire month, I sent a total of 4 mails. In the first mail, I talked about a real-life friend of mine with a similar username as mine, HDMelody. Some of you might know, but I lived abroad in Czechia during my teenage years, and HDMelody was a Korean friend that I made in Czechia. Noticeably, we had a few details in common, and I thought it might have caused confusion. Plus, HDMelody's account had also gotten in restriction because his account is an actual multi-account. He had forgotten his account details to his very original account, which is not mine, and made a new one calling it HDMelody. But I'll talk a bit more about this story after everything about my own restriction. Either way, this mail was met with a denial saying the information in the appeal is, quote, not substantial enough. I first thought this had meant I didn't have enough details to prove that HDMelody was not my account, so I sent another appeal stating that mine and HDMelody's account each belongs to a different person and added in details about my whereabouts and what I had been up to. However, this appeal was once again said to be missing important parts and I was told I'm not being honest. They had also stated the last email I sent effectively resets the cooldown for appealing, which meant my next appeal had to be sent again after 3 months. I couldn't wait for this, so I did a little bit of rewording, which actually worked. Instead of titling my emails as appeals, I titled them question about restriction. So mid-October, I sent them another mail. This time, instead of explaining about HDMelody, I listed other accounts that were related to me in real life, talking about a total of 4 other accounts and claiming none of them to be mine. The answer to this mail, however, had gotten me both confused and irritated. Their entire answer was just 6 words. Your original restriction was for cheating. So I sent another mail asking 3 questions. What happened to the consideration of my life play since it was answered with the multi-account accusation? Whether I'm restricted for cheating, multi-accounting, or both? And which plays are considered cheated / which accounts are considered to be my multi-account? This mail was met with slightly longer response but still a single sentence. It reads, your restriction was placed for cheating. There were suspicions of multi-accounting which you've cleared in previous correspondence. Which completely ignores my first and third questions, so that got me a bit more annoyed, but at least I knew I only had to write about my cheating allegations in my next appeal. After another 3 months, January and early February of 2020, I sent my last set of appeals. This time I had to send 3 in total. First appeal I sent was basically a long, giant essay talking about how there's no motivation for me to cheat, showing my life play to prove my skill level, etc. But this appeal didn't even receive any response. At this point I was exhausted. Behind all these appeals, there were a lot of moments where I tried to reach out on Twitter, The email I sent to Peppy after his COE clip was said by himself, "will be in the queue," and nothing happened. After ignoring my question about what my main account is in my appeal, staff appeared on Twitter to tell me I wasn't ignored, but then only to confirm now my main account indeed is HDJump. Actually gets even weirder because they so firmly say that I was still playing on other accounts, except on the question email I sent in mid-October they replied I wasn't multi-accounting. My very first appeal mail that did not receive any response for a month until I had to send a new one, I tried to contact them through Twitter that time too. There were many attempts of me trying to get even just any response from them, so I attempted to get a response for the appeal I had sent on Twitter again, and the answers I got from them completely drained every will out of me. Unless you're lying, then you might not get a reply at all. All we want is some honesty. So I gave them the honesty they wanted. In the first appeal I said I cheated. I just wrote that I had cheated on my 500 PP play with an apology, but it was denied as it did not include which cheats I used and where I obtained it. So I sent another one saying that I replay edited and got the cheat from theaquila.net, which was like the Maple cheats of those times, a cheat website which was semi-popular even amongst legitimate players, and that appeal had managed to get my account unrestricted. You might be thinking, it's been more than 6 years, what are you trying to prove or get at saying this? This is just something I wanted to rant about for a long time, something I wanted to get off my chest. What you decide to believe is the truth is up to you, but I'm personally ranting about this for myself. If you couldn't tell, during the story I never clearly say that I'm not a cheater, because I don't have proof that I didn't cheat, and in written accords I had clearly called myself a cheater. The entire story probably sounded like I was claiming myself to have never have cheated, because I was saying like I was trying to prove my innocence, but those were said to literally mean what I did, as in many of the appeals I wrote, I indeed said that I did not cheat. So you can believe me in the things you want, but everything I said till now I can prove with evidence. Now, a bit more personal things related to my unrestriction. These will be in fully my perspective. There's actually a reason I wrote my first appeal without which cheats I used and chose replay edit as the cheat that I've used in my second appeal. I didn't write about the cheats I used in my first appeal because I thought if I managed to get unrestricted with the second appeal, whichever cheat I wrote there would confirm that that cheat is the cheat that I used on the 500 PP play. Then I chose replay edit as the cheat, since if that were the case, no one had any concrete proof that I used replay edit. The choppy spinners mentioned in this Reddit post were all because I paused and took a screenshot to send to my Discord friends, except Osu stores the online screenshots differently now, so the images are gone. Whatever. Plus, the weird RPM glitch that happens at the end of the replay is something that occurs when you alt-tab back into the game and continue immediately, especially on low-end PCs. I don't know what causes this, but the cursor trail acts noticeably weird, and trying to spin at that moment gives lower RPM. But looking back now, this was kinda a mistake that I made, since I didn't really have much knowledge about cheating. Apparently replay edits are cheats that cannot be really proven even by the people who have been putting effort into detecting cheats for this game. Until now, I have been asking a few people who were experienced with cheat detection in Osu to see if I can get any vouches. None of them told me the play is suspicious, but a few of them said to me replay editing is difficult to be validated. Honestly, if anyone can provide a concrete proof that the play is either cheated or legit, both, I'm willing to pay them like a couple of bucks, only like 100, I don't know, I'm perma broke. I'll probably add the play in description. And another thing, the story related to HD Melody I said I'll talk a bit more about. So, sometime mid 2023, HD Melody wanted to play the game a bit again and wanted his account unrestricted. But even though during my restriction, because of my multi-account accusation, I've said over and over again that his account is not my multi-account. Apparently, when he asked staff for his unrestriction, he received this. What about HDJump? We both sent them emails clarifying we're different people again, so he's unbanned and cleared now, but this had just shown me either people in staff team don't communicate with each other, or they really don't know anything still. So yeah, that's just my experience and thoughts. I'm kinda happy I got to actually vent about this finally. I really hope there aren't any, but if there are people suffering from false restriction, I wish them to be resolved soon, and well, I hope I don't get restricted again for this video. I mean, if staff did their job correctly, then they should have a proof that the play is indeed replay edited, just that no one knows other than them, so oh well. Also, I want to mention, while I still don't personally think fondly of the OC staff team, I also do not know how they are now. This story is from years ago, and the staff team probably has met a lot of changes and developments in their work over the course of those years. And I should also mention, I talked about Peppy a bit, but like I said before, Peppy has made it clear that he does not work for moderation. I really don't mean this rant to throw some shade or cast negative impressions on someone. I just wanted to vent about this for the longest time. So well, I guess that's it. Thank you.